A lot is discussed about food security, farming, nutrition, money grants, the environment, sanitation, and food storage are popular topics in this discussion. But what is missing is a laser-like focus on building individual wealth for financial security and a stronger purchasing power.
Microcredit for small farmers and grants for large projects are all well and good. But we need a financial foundation that puts money into the pockets of our producers, our farmers, and our customers. We need a financial foundation that works for you. So spend the next few minutes with us as we discuss building our food security on a strong financial foundation.
Let me ask this question. What if a US public company is owned by producers and consumers in Ghana? Here's an example of tomato farmers and their customers. The public company stands between the farmers and their customers. It provides a free mobile refrigeration service for them. The farmers sell their tomatoes to the public company, which then sells the tomatoes to the customers.
All sales transactions are denominated in Ghana cedis. The public company makes a profit which gets distributed as dividends. These cash dividends to the farmers and customers are calculated in US dollars. But what does this mean in building?
Well, that's a good question about building food security. The farmers' tomatoes are bought, stored, and transported by the public company. Farmers grow the tomatoes without worrying about if they can sell them. Thanks to the mobile refrigeration service provided by the public company, customers get fresh and cool tomatoes. Obviously, the tomato farmers and their customers are at the center of this business. But apart from their sales income, shouldn't they be partners in the profits as well?
This is why our equity sharing model shares ownership with farmers and their customers. Let's take a closer look at what equity sharing is all about. There are multiple definitions in the dictionary for the word equity. This can be confusing. In our discussion about food security, equity means ownership. So what does equity sharing mean? Equity sharing is an all-inclusive capitalism that maximizes value for all shareholders. In plain English, we want the financial value of what you own, your equity, to be as high as possible. We want the value of your shares in the public company to be as high as possible.
Here's how this happens. The revenue to the public company is predictable because we know how many farmers are shareholders. We also know how many customers are shareholders. Now, most farmers will continue to grow tomatoes for the public company and will retain their shares they have earned so that they can keep earning dividends. Customers are also more likely to keep their shares. With most shareholders holding onto their shares and not selling them, the demand in the market for these shares goes up. This higher demand for shares drives up the market value of the public company, and thus the equity value of every shareholder goes up. But what does this mean in terms of food security? Here's what this means. Every farmer's equity value goes up as more tomatoes are bought and sold through the public company. The equity value of their customers goes up as well.
Let's be very clear. Ownership in a public company is the foundation of food security. With ownership, the farmer and customer become wealthier. With more wealth comes purchasing power for the customers. But it's unfortunate that the terms equity and value are not understood by those who work the hardest to build our food security. That is why our equity sharing model is transparent. We must show you how financial value builds up for you. So let's start with our financial foundation. It's an international financial platform that keeps track of the equity assets of our members. It also processes their financial transactions. After each farmers and their customers become members, they each open an equity savings account on the platform. This kind of financial foundation does not exist anywhere. So how does this platform support our food security operations?
Here's what happens, or here's how the support comes in. The farmer enters into an agreement to sell tomatoes to the public company. Shares in the public company are deposited into the farmer's account. The first purchase of fresh tomatoes from the public company by a customer causes shares in the public company to be deposited into the customer's account.
Is our foundation strong?
Oh, absolutely. It supports different financial currencies and many public companies. Customers and farmers buy and sell in Ghana cedis. Dividends are deposited into the accounts in US dollars. The platform has to support many public companies because food security is much more than the storage, the refrigeration, or the transportation of tomatoes, as we have seen in our example today. So to build our food security, we must have public companies that, for instance, educate people about food nutrition, help people recycle their trash, clean up our gutters. In fact, we have a long list of needs, and the best way to address all these needs is to start with a strong financial foundation.
That is why you must join us today in building our food security on a strong financial foundation. For learning our equity sharing business model, you get a monthly dividend between 93 and 200 US dollars. If you have a business project, there's an opportunity for your project to get funded. And all members have equity ownership opportunities in many companies.
Let's say, for example, we have 3 public companies, one for tomatoes, another for carrots, and the third for apples. If you buy tomatoes and carrots, your equity savings account has shares in the tomato company and in the carrot company. But if you don't like carrots and only buy apples and tomatoes, then your account is deposited with shares in the apple and tomato companies. You might just buy some carrots to get the shares in the carrot company and then give away the carrots you don't like to a friend.
Now, don't be in a hurry to give away those carrots. Your doctor might tell you that carrots are good for your health. This concludes our discussion on building our food security on a strong financial foundation. Join us today by visiting our website at equityscore.com. Go to the menu bar at the top and click on True Choice.